Alright, guys. Today we will be going over how to get our forms to email out. We've been working with forms since IS 140. We always create all these forms and we never really get them to do anything, which kind of defeats the purpose of them. So now that we know a little bit of PHP, we will be creating a PHP mailer and getting our forms to actually email out. And I suggest that you use the form on your homepage, as that will be what you will be graded on. But if you want to submit another form, that's also okay. You just need to let me know. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up our homepage and we're going to get our form ready for our PHP mailer script. So I'm going to open up Atom. I'm going to open my index file. Now, what I recommend for you guys is that you either start putting your assignments in different folders or that you make a copy of this index file that you created. That way, if anything goes wrong or you make an error or mistake, and you could always go back, get that backup that you have of your file. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm actually going to save this as, I'm going to put it in this week. I'm going to call this index.html. All right, so I have a blank new copy. So if something goes wrong, I could always go and reference the other one or just start from the other one. So we're going to scroll all the way down to our form. And we're going to make some changes to this form. So once you find your form on your home page, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a method to this form. So right inside the form tag, we're going to go method equals post. Right? This is telling the form that we want it to post information, but hidden from the URL. And then we're going to give it an action. You guys will have probably seen the action on a lot of the other forms, and you're like, well, what goes in there, right? So for this action, we're actually going to tell it to go to a PHP file, and that PHP file we're going to be creating in a little bit, and we're just going to be calling it mailer. So action mailer.php, right? So this form, when they click the submit button, it's gonna run this action. And we haven't created this file yet, but we'll be creating it here shortly. The next thing we want to do to our form is, now that we know a little bit about PHP, all the inputs we have, we have the type. Okay, this is the type text input. We have this class. This is a bootstrap class. It has an ID, which is great for like CSS, or if we want to target this specific input. And it has a placeholder, but we need to give it a name. So we're going to say name equals, and in this case, it's going to be name, right? And this is so that we could later reference it through PHP. We look for our next input, which is an email. And the name for this one is going to be email. All right, keeping it short and simple. And then our next one is, I would like information regarding. So this one, we're going to go next to class. We're going to give it the name. I'm going to call it service, right? Like what kind of service they're requesting information on. If you did checkboxes, again, just go to the main either your select or your checkbox, and then give it a name, either checkbox, service. And lastly, what else do we have? The text area. Text area, again, we're going to give it a name. And I'm going to call this message. Like this is the message they sent. And that should be it. Again, if you have other fields, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to add the tag name, and you're going to give it something that you can later reference. So we're going to go ahead and save that. And now we need to create our mailer.php file. This mailer file, and I'm actually going to go ahead and provide it for you guys. That way you guys don't have to type in all that code. So you're just going to have to download it from Canvas. And once you find it, it is going to look something like this, right? So if you guys notice, we have an opening PHP tag over here and a closing PHP tag. So this is a PHP file, and this is a mailer file. And what we're going to do is we're going to fill in all the information for your contact form. So first, we're going to start off on this to is who do we want this email to go to, right? So here I am going to go ahead and put my email, non@fluenceweb.com. Now you want to send it to an email that has your domain name. It could be anything at your domain name. It will still go through, but if it's not matching the domain name it's coming from, so it's coming from your website, it's going to get either end up in the spam box or get marked as junk, because it's going to be considered spoofing, right? So since mine is going to be going out from Fluence, and I misspelled it, fluenceweb.com, I'm sending it to that email. From is what you want to show up on the from field. So I want this to say it's coming from Fluence Web Marketing. Actually, just Fluence Marketing. And the subject, I want the subject to say new website contact form message. Again, you could have it say anything, but when it gets into my inbox, I want to know, hey, it comes from Fluence and it's somebody submitted a contact form message. And this header, I'm just going to call it Fluence Marketing again. All right. Now these are extra options to either show a message or redirect to a message page. And I'll go over those in a little bit. These are extra items that I want included in the email, such I also want this email to come with the date, right? The time, the IP, and the referrer as well, like what URL or what page were they on when they submitted this website. And then below we have this message, right? So message below is the result of your feedback form. It was submitted on date, time. So again, going back to our little intro to PHP, it's just going to get the date, it's going to get the time. I have a few line breaks, it's going to get the IP address, it's going to email all those to me. Now we could go, to make this simple, we have a very simple if statement here that's pretty much going to get all the variables from the form, and it's going to create a key for them, and it's going to provide all the info that's input in the form, right? So this does all the work for us. Lastly, it's going to mail it to our to, which is whatever email we put here. It's going to give it whichever subject we had, whichever message, include any headers. And if the forward is equal to 1, it's gonna send it to a header location for location. And if you guys notice, location doesn't have anything in there. So I'm actually gonna create a new page there. I'm gonna put in my domain, and I'm gonna create a new page called contact return.html. Right. So what this code is pretty much saying, hey, if forward is equal to 1, send the user to this location, which is going to be another page we'll be creating here soon. If it's equal to 0, so forwarder right now is equal to 0, it's going to print out echo, thank you for submitting our form. We will get back to you as soon as possible. Right, and we'll show you guys how those work. So once you have your information on your mailer filled out, we're going to go ahead and update them and upload them to the website. All right, so we're going to connect to our server through FTP. And I'm going to replace my index file with my new one. So I'm just going to drag that over. And I'm also going to upload my newly created mailer file. So now when I go to my website, I'm going to go ahead and refresh. And when I type in something in my form, and I select the service, hello, this is a test message for my form, and I hit send, since our forwarder was set to 0, it prints out this message. Thank you for submitting our form. We will get back to you as soon as possible. Now, it seems pretty boring, so we're going to do something about that. But before, let's see if we actually received that email. So I'm going to go log into my email accounts. And I emailed that to Fluence Web. There it is, Fluence Marketing. And it's going to be this last one. Hello, this is a test message for my form. Perfect. So our contact form is working, right? It prints out just like everything we have on our mailer script. Below is the result of your feedback form. It was submitted on Friday, February 28th, 2020 at 1:23 a.m. The refer, as you notice, it prints out the page that the form is on. You have some other info on the browser, and then name, email, service, message, right? And you guys notice we got these from what we put on our form. So I got all the information. I can now get back to that person myself. So the next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to make a change to our mailer. So we're going to change this forward, and we're going to change that to 1. Save it. Go back to Firefox, FileZilla, refresh, and I'm going to re-upload that file. I'm going to go ahead and resubmit my form again. So we're going to look for my website. I could close these files now. I'm going to refresh my form, and I'm going to put in same information with different message. Hello, this is test 2 for my form with a forwarder. So I send the message, and error 404, page not found. Now, if you guys notice and look at the URL, Fluent will have contact return.html not found. That's because we still have not created that page, but the idea is that when a user submits that form, they get sent to a nicer page on my website, not just a simple message. So I'm going to go back. Now the form's still emailed out, they just weren't referred to the forwarder. New email message. And here we notice is the last one. Hello, this is test 2 for my form with a forwarder. So now let's go ahead and create that contact return HTML page. So we're going to create an additional page, but I still want to keep my header, my navigation, and everything else. So let's go ahead to my index. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my index and I'm just going to save it. I'm going to go save as, and I'm going to call this contact form return .html. Right? And we name it that because that's what we have on our mailer as a forwarder. Contact return, actually contact return. So I'm going to change mine to contact form return. So whatever you name either your new page or your link, just make sure it's matching. So I named my page contact form return. I updated my mailer. And before I forget to upload it, I'm going to go ahead and upload that back up to my server. And now for my contact form return HTML, I'm going to go ahead and start by deleting most of the stuff on there except the header and the footer. So I'm going to scroll all the way to the top on this index page. And again, this should just be a copy. It should not be your original index page. And I'm going to leave my navigation there. I'm actually going to leave my sliders there as well. And I am going to, let's see, what else do I have? I'm actually going to remove this. From here, after my first initial div, I'm going to go ahead and delete all the way till the end of container. All right. So I'm just going to keep my slider there, and I'm just going to have a new div, a new container. I'm going to get rid of this marketing class. I don't need it anymore. And this ID for services, I don't need as well. Right. So we just have a simple container, and inside this container, I'm going to make a row with a column. And inside this column, I am just going to have a simple message. I'm going to start with a heading level 1. Thank you. And then an H3. Your message has been sent successfully. We will get back to you as soon as possible. Perfect. And I'm going to add a bootstrap class. Typing a little too fast here. And I'm going to do text success. That'll give me the green text. Save it. I'm going to go ahead and upload it to my server. So refresh. And that was contact form return. And let's see how that looks. So if I go to Fluence Web, contact form return.html, perfect. We have a nice user-friendly message that says, thank you. Your message has been sent successfully. We will get back to you as soon as possible. A lot more user-friendlier. And you know what? The only change I'm going to make, I'm just going to add some padding to that message. So let's see. Div class row, padding 5, and margin bottom 5. That way it's not as close to the footer. Contact form return. Refresh. Perfect. So it's a little more center, has some padding all around, and the footer's more towards the bottom. Much better. So now if I go home, oh, see, I can't go home. So I'm going to actually go back and add links. So all this time, there's a one-page link. So we're going to add some links to our reference. So here, this is just going to be index.html. And we don't need a hashtag there. So for my home, we're going to go back to index. Actually, I'm just going ahead and copy that. And then services the same, about the same, and testimonials. So you guys notice we're keeping index.html, so it sends them back to the home page. But since we have our div IDs, we could have the link, the £, and then the ID to that section. So they won't just get sent back to the home page. If they hit skills, they'll actually scroll down to the skills section. And the contact as well. Go ahead and save that. Contact form return. Gonna refresh. So now if I hit home, beautiful. Takes me back to my home page. And let's try my contact form once again. So, Mr. Garcia, not@gmail.com. Your message final test for contact form. Send. Perfect. So now when the visitor hits send, they don't just see an ugly message or a pop-up. They get sent to a page that's still within our page with a nice friendly message that lets them know, hey, we did send that message, or it was sent successfully. Ideally here, I could also use it to add some testimonials or, you know, any other message I want them to see after they have already sent that form. If I check my links, they all work perfectly. And the form is working. So for your assignment, you will be graded on 1. I'm going to go through each one of your pages and I'm going to send the form, and I want it to send me to a new page on your website similar to what we created here. And then on that new page, I want to be able to go back to the home page or any of these links here. You are also going to forward a working result of your mailer PHP file. So you could either forward me, just forward the email. So you could just forward the email to my email, and I'll have more instructions for that on Canvas. Perfect. So now we'll have our contact forms working and we're good to go.